levels of government, particularly local government. And this is part of building a capable state, an ethical and developmental state of the work that we have to do to ensure that we bring stability and capability to our state. But through the district development model, we also aim to deliver integrated services to our people. And those services are not only about water, roads, and refuse removal and everything else. It's also about enabling businesses to operate effectively and efficiently in the various districts of our country. When implemented effectively, the district development model will narrow the distance between our people and government, as well as government, and in the end, also various stakeholders in our country, be they civil society, be they labor, be they religious communities, right across the board. As we are in a district here, municipalities are the engine rooms of government. When they are well run, when there is effective provision of basic services to our people, when municipal competencies like enabling economic activity to happen in the local government space, then that is when we are able to grow the economy. That is when we are able to ensure that there's creation of jobs, reduction of poverty, and elimination of inequality. I've always said that economic activity and growth takes place at the local government space. And this is where we need to focus more of our activities. And it is for this reason that we welcome this opportunity to interact and interface with business at the local government level so as to have an opportunity to hear their thoughts and their views, because they are the ones who interface at a close level with local government. When municipalities are dysfunctional, it directly affects businesses, and it ultimately affects employment. When businesses are not able to get joy, good services, an enabling environment at the local government level, they flee. They take their investments elsewhere. And we have seen how that has happened in some parts of our country when businesses do not get good services, do not get good water, good roads, and everything else. They leave with their money and go and invest it elsewhere. So it is vitally important that our local government structures must function effectively, because by so doing, they will lead to the attraction of businesses to come to their areas. They will lead to jobs being created and our towns and our municipal areas thriving. So when, for instance, our local governments do not pay attention to things like granting permits on time, when they do not pay attention to the supply of water or electricity, and when they don't do things properly, they have revenue losses, and revenue losses leads to a whole number of other ills, such as not even being able to pay salaries for their workers. Unfortunately, or relocate because of some of these challenges. And these are the challenges that we need to address. We do not want to see this happening here in Mpumalanga. By focusing on service delivery, and service delivery must be done to our people so that our people's lives can improve, so that they can live a better life. But service delivery must also be done to the various other entities, business and other entities in the area, so that we're able to create a more conducive environment for business, for investment, and ultimately for job creation. Now, the district development model represents an all-of-government approach. The model is about integrated and responsive planning, budgeting, implementation to leverage the endowments of the respective districts for the benefit of our communities and various stakeholders in our towns. It is pleasing, Premier, to note that Nhlanzeni, Nkangala, Gerzimbande districts have finalized their one plans, and we now look forward to their implementation. This is the third installment of the presidential Imbizo, following successful engagements earlier this year in Northwest, as well as in the Free State. So today we are here in Mpumalanga, from here, positive effect. Now, one of the things that we made a mistake on when we really came into government was that whereas the farmers under the apartheid regime had received enormous assistance from government, when we came in, we stopped. So our farmers then did not get assistance, and this was the time when we were supposed to give assistance to our emerging farmers, people whose land has been taken away from them, and now as they get a government who will make sure that they get land, we then said we want to reach out to 250,000 during this period of the MTEF. And we are going to do that because through assisting our farmers, we found that we are able to unleash agricultural activity which contributes so much to our economy. The issue, Baba Masango, of theft on farms is a matter that we are paying attention to. Many of them are dysfunctional. Many of them are not working as well as they should, because in a way, we need to look at them. Some do work, but many of them don't work. Because just as you were saying, we brought people together and forced them into a partnership. We make them partners, and when we beg agahle, there's a saying that you put forward, ukuthi a partnership can lead to your losses. So partners should be on a voluntary basis. They should not be forced. Now, through the CPA, we force people to be partners, and their intentions, objectives are misaligned. And you want to work with people with whose objectives are well aligned. So we are going to be reviewing this, as Deputy Minister Skwatsha said. Yes, I know that fuel and electricity are on the rise, and some of it is completely outside our control because it is subject to what happens in the global economy, particularly fuel. The electricity challenge is a challenge that we continue to address because of the status of our electricity generation company. The issue of water rights, you're absolutely correct in raising this matter, because agriculture can only really fully function when you have water rights. If you can water your plants, then your yield goes much higher, and it's something that needs to be looked at. The issue of title deeds is a matter that we also have put on our radar screen, and we are going to attend to it. The question of insurance is a commercial issue which needs to be looked at slightly differently, but through the co-op systems, insurance is a matter that can be easily addressed. So, Baba Masango, we want to support farmers like you. We want you to contribute to the growth of our economy, particularly in the agricultural sector. We have singled out agriculture as one area that can create massive jobs. And Professor Karan, before he died, said in agriculture, as he was participating in the drafting of the National Development Plan, said agriculture can create 1 million jobs. And this is precisely what we now want to focus on. We've seen what assistance that we give to farmers, be they subsistence, be they small, be they medium-scale farmers, it does. Once we give that assistance, it just unleashes enormous energy amongst farmers, and that is the way that we are going to be going, and assist farmers in a variety of ways. Partnering with stakeholders is what SASOL says it wants to do, and we welcome that, as was put forward by Charlotte Mukweni. We welcome the participation of big companies in working with stakeholders, stakeholders as in communities, stakeholders as in labor, stakeholders as within government as well, working with all those stakeholders on this journey that is so vital for the growth of our economy. Now, we also have to thank companies like SASOL, which has embraced the fact that we've got to be responsive to the climate change and begin to look at their own plans and strategies on how to recalibrate them so that together we can move with our companies to a more greener future. So we thank SASOL for continuing also to ensure that they establish a number of initiatives or implement a number of our communities. And this engagement that we've just had this morning with the business community helps to give us thoughts and ideas on how we can forge forward to ensure that the working together between business, government, and labor and communities is solidified. So I'd like to thank you all for this participation. We have heard what you have said from the business community, and we want to be able to work more closely with you as the business community as we move forward to ensure that we implement our economic reconstruction and recovery plan, and in doing so, that we should leave no one behind. And in doing so, we should make sure that indeed we do create more jobs, particularly in areas that have so much opportunity out there for them. Mpumalanga is one area in our country that has enormous opportunities. And Premier, we want to thank you once again for having come up with bold ambitions. The other one issue I wanted to add is that in just going through the various initiatives that you have in the province, as I went through many of them, I saw that you focus on infrastructure and spending money wisely on infrastructure. And I just hope that that continues to be spread throughout the province. And as I looked at the various initiatives, I see that they cover the province in a very positive way. And those infrastructure programs, as I saw, are creating a number of jobs, but obviously we need to focus on those that impact on the lives of our people, which is exactly where we are going now. We're now going to have an opportunity to talk to our people, to give them that platform so that they can address the issues that are of great concern to us. Now, we are here as national government, as provincial as well as local government, to listen to our people, to hear what our people have to say. And this is what enriches our democracy. This is what makes our democracy so much alive. Last night, I was saying to the Black Business Council, in the presence of Minister Nathi Mthethwa, I was telling them that with this uproar that has occurred in the nation about the flag that the department had wanted to put up, an initiative which they conceptualized, came to cabinet with it, and we approved, not having looked at the costs. Our people have responded to the issue of the cost, that it isn't the wisest thing at the moment to go and put up a flag that is going to cost so much money. And I was saying to them yesterday, we are a listening government. We listened to our people, and having listened to them, we decided that we are not going to proceed with the flag project because we want to listen to the voice of our people. That is the strength of our democracy. We are still a young democracy, and the democracy must mean that when the people speak, those that have been elected to lead the people and to implement the wishes of our people must listen. Now, the Imbizo is going to give us this morning the opportunity to do precisely that, to listen to them. But beyond the Imbizo, we will want to come back as various departments here to see how best we can respond to what our people are going to be raising. So I want you all to be ready as we're going to listen to our people and to listen very, very carefully to what they have to say, as we have all listened this morning to the business people who were talking here. So I'd like to thank you for being present this morning, for having given an ear to all that has been said. And I'm sorry that you have not been given the breakfast that you had hoped you would get. I hope the speeches that were made here were breakfast enough for you. Thank you very much.